Shaping up nice. Jesus, don't look at it. Dazzling. It could be.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our December meeting of the Naracoorte-Lucindale Council, where we acknowledge and respect our complex history and we welcome everyone to build our future together. Live streaming. Please note that this meeting is being recorded and published in accordance with the Council's live streaming and recording of public meetings policy. To those present in the gallery today, by attending a public meeting of Council, you are consenting to your image, voice and comments being recorded and published. Anyone who is invited to speak will be recorded and their voice, image and comments will form part of the live stream and recording. Item 2, elected members' declaration of interest. We haven't received any.
Yeah. Sorry, it was late.
Tom, I take that, Tom, we have that declaration. Item 3, public forum. There is none. Item 4, petitions and deputations. There are none. Item 5, I seek someone to move that the council minutes of the 25th of November are confirmed as an accurate record of proceedings of the meeting. Councillor Downwood and Councillor Dennis. All those in favour? Carried, thank you. There are no minutes laid on the table. I offer my Mayor's report. And it gives me great pleasure to announce the 2026 Australia Day Citizen of the Year Award recipients for the Naracoorte-Lucindale Council area. The joint Naracoorte Citizen of the Year are Havizala, affectionately known as Haviz, for his outstanding commitment to the Naracoorte community and immersing himself in the community since his arrival in Naracoorte. And the other joint and fitting Citizen of the Year is Vanita Bator for her outstanding commitment to the Naracoorte community through her numerous voluntary roles. The Lucindale Citizen of the Year is Trevor Martin for his outstanding voluntary contribution to the community for more than 50 years. The joint Naracoorte Young Citizen of the Year is Hamish Corcoran for his leadership within the CFS and being a dedicated volunteer for over 10 years. Joint Young Citizen of the Year in Naracoorte is Ashley Miles for being a dedicated volunteer at Scout CFS and the Sheep's Back Museum. Lucindale Young Citizen of the Year, Harmony Reid, for her contribution to the Lucindale Netball Club and organising school fundraisers. She was also the recipient of the Jason Doig Memorial Award at Lucindale School. Naracoorte Active Citizen Award, Muhammad Yassin Hakimi. And in fact, Yassin, we see him all the time around the Migrant Resource Centre, and only recently last year we actually received his leadership through the RDC, correct? RDA, thank you, RDA. Very good, I was there for that. Lucindale Active Citizen Award goes to Shirley Goodman and Marg Elliott for their establishment of the Lucindale Loop newsletter. The Naracoorte Community Event of the Year, Naracoorte District Basketball Association Annual Tournament. Outstanding success, as Mr McCroskey will look very good for his budget. Naracoorte Community Event of the Lucindale Community Event of the Year was the Yakka Wacka BNS Charity Ball. Naracoorte Certificate of Appreciation, Naracoorte Branch of National Trust Volunteer Group for their commitment to providing an outstanding visitor experience at the Sheep's Back Museum. And the Lucindale Certificate of Appreciation, Lucindale Economic Development Board, known as LINC, for their organising of the annual and well-loved Lucindale Christmas Street Party. So congratulations to all of those, and we look forward to presenting them with their awards on Australia Day in 2026. And I'd like to thank my Deputy Mayor, Abigail Goodman, and Councillor Crosling, Monique, for their assistance. And I also think within the Australia Day Awards, the way they've been able to broaden it, so be more inclusive to allow us allowing more people, to be recognised within the community, I think is actually a really great thing. I'd actually ask leave of the meeting for some extra items. I know Councillor Dennis wished me to have everything published, and I do, but we've had a little bit of late stuff come in since it went to print, and so I'm expecting I've been granted leave. Thank you. I'd just like to mention, the distressing time for all Australians, and on behalf of Council, I'd like to share my heartfelt condolences to those who have lost loved ones in the Bondi beach attack. And I share my deep appreciation for those who put their lives on the line to save others, and my thoughts to all those who were impacted by this shocking event. Naracoorte Lucindale is a lucky community made up of many nations, of many faiths, practised and celebrated in peace. And as Mayor, I am proud of this community's diversity and encourage everyone to continue to show respect, compassion, and look out for one another during this time. Also mention, today we farewelled former Naracoorte Lucindale Councillor Ken Schultz. Ken was elected in 1985, representing Hynum, and later returned serving for 12 years from 2010 to 22. And I'm sure there'll be elected members from within the chamber that may wish to add something to that. And finally, Council, as you'll recall at our November meeting, it was resolved that I seek to enlist the Limestone Coast LGA to explore ways of seeking greater protection for our agricultural sector and valuable farming land in the southeast. The LGA board meeting was last Friday, and I'm pleased to advise that all councils present supported this request. And it was resolved that the LGA values and recognises the significance of agriculture, forestry and fishing sectors to the economic and social well-being of our region. B, acknowledges that sustainable management and protection of primary production land, groundwater and coast is vital for the long-term economic and social prosperity of the Limestone Coast. C, seeks measures to ensure that renewable energy and mining projects and activities will be secondary to and will in no way diminish established high-value primary production, and that this matter be added to the 2026 advocacy plan for immediate action and incorporated into the 5-year strategic plan of the LGA, of the Limestone Coast Local Government Association. Given the urgency required in finalising the LCLGA advocacy document, the board determined to add the following specific asks of government, the South Australian government. In summary, that the legislated moratorium on fracking be extended beyond 2028, and that an independent agricultural commissioner for South Australia be investigated to provide increased protection for high quality farmland. Here, at the heart of the Limestone Coast, Naracoorte, Lucindale, we are surrounded by highly productive farmland, and this is a major contributor to feeding this state and powering our economy. It is fitting that Naracoorte Lucindale Council stands shoulder to shoulder with our growers and producers to seek assurances from governments, and I am pleased our voice will be amplified through the collaborative efforts of the Limestone Coast LGA. Finally, I wish all members of our community a very Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Thank you. And I seek a seconder to my report. Councillor Maguire, thank you.
It's my favourite Mayor's report. I've loved everything you said in that, so it's a good outcome. Thank you.
All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Ross. How do we go about having the extended part of your report added to the minutes?
Yep.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you for the question, and it will be added. Item 8, elected members' report. I have the report from Councillor Crosling. You'd like to add something, Councillor Crosling?
That's okay, Ross. I just also would like to congratulate our Australia Day award winners. We had a great breadth of nominees, which was fabulous, and it was lovely to be able to call the Naracoorte winners on the Mayor's behalf, and everyone was very shocked, excited, and mainly humble of their awards. So I think the spread of the awards is fabulous for 2026, and I just wanted to again congratulate those award winners. As I mentioned in my report, there has been a lot happening over the last 6 weeks, and I just wanted to take this opportunity to thank our staff, especially our community engagement staff, our town hall staff. There's been a lot happening, and the community in general, with the carols and the Christmas pageant and things like that have been on. So obviously there's lots of events and activities. It's a busy time of year. I just wanted to say thank you. Their efforts don't go unnoticed. And I'd also just like to touch on my report. Obviously, we farewelled Ken Schultz today, and there's just a little something that I wanted to read on behalf of Councillor Ross, who obviously isn't here tonight, as he is celebrating the life of Councillor Ken Schultz with his family. So if I may just read a little bit. Today we farewelled former Councillor Ken Schultz, who leaves a lasting legacy on our community. The many contributions he has made to our community were highlighted in the family's eulogy at Ken's service today at the Naracoorte Town Hall. And the Town Hall was packed, and also his grandchildren said the most amazing stories, all shining a light on the funny, they had great stories, and it was, each had their own little tidbits to take away, but I took away from that when I'm Ken's age, I hope my grandchildren speak like that about me. It was absolutely lovely. So quite simply, Ken was a real doer, and if his mind was set on something, he found a way to get it done. He served as a councillor for the former District Council of Naracoorte and then the Naracoorte-Lucindale Council for 14 years in total, only retiring from the office in 2022. Ken was passionate about improving the town and the district's assets by using common sense and experience. He was integral in planning and the construction of the much-loved Naracoorte Creek Walk, and his dedication to the community also saw him serve on the Apex and the Rotary Clubs, and he also served on the Naracoorte Hospital Health Advisory Council. The Naracoorte Men's Shed is lovingly referred to as Ken's Shed by his family, and when he first heard about the concept of the Men's Shed, he was adamant that Naracoorte needed one, and he served as the inaugural chairman for 4 years. Ken's influence will remain woven into the fabric of our community, and we extend our sincere condolences to his sons, Tim and Bruce, and their families at this very sad time. And that's all.
Thank you, Councillor Crosling. Councillor Grundy.
Thanks, Mayor Ross. I just wanted to add a little bit about Ken myself, in that he and I served together on the Sale Arts Committee last year. So I got to know Ken better as a first-term councillor last year. Ken was very supportive of me and other newly elected councillors at the time, I noticed. So at times Ken was bombastic, but it was always good-natured. And while at the same time Ken had great empathy for everyone, all those around him. With Ken, what you saw is what you got. One aspect of Ken's character was that he always was looking for a better way or a way to improve a situation, particularly when it came to engineering of any kind. This leads me on to the Sale Arts Committee. The committee comprised of 3 councillor positions, including Ken and I. Ken was always keen to advise how the infrastructure could be improved. Didn't matter how much it cost, but he was very enthusiastic about improving it. The great irony was that Ken was on the committee and had a great hatred of sheep and cattle, and which came in handy at times. So today we attended the memorial service and at the town hall, and his family did a great job, and I'd like to pass on our condolences to the Schultz family. Thank you.
Thank you. Noted. Any further? Thank you for that, and I'll ensure that those condolences are registered in the minutes. Thank you. 9.9 and 9.1.
Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Kelly.
The report, my report tonight is really just about giving Council an opportunity to discuss whether or not it wants to put in a submission to the House of Representatives Standing Committee on Regional Development and Infrastructure and Transport. A review was being undertaken into financial sustainability of local government, and that review expired at the last elections, and so it's been revived again. So really I can't find that there was any discussion with this council when there was last an opportunity to put in a submission. You may have spoken about it at a briefing session, but I wanted to make sure you had an opportunity now, if you did want to put in a submission to that inquiry, to do so. So the recommendation is there, and the rest of my report is really just the meetings that I've been attending.
Thank you, Kelly. I suppose further to that submission, it's been done certainly by LGA. I don't know whether we'd done one from Narracoola Leeson. I didn't think so. But certainly the LGA have done one, and this was discussed a couple of weeks ago at LGA, and you know, it was offered if you wish to make a submission, they would be having a look at the one they'd already done, and if it needed any more, that they would add to it. But they didn't feel there was a need necessarily for council's carte blanche to go out and make submissions, but we're in your hands. Councillor Grundy.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd be guided by the administration, but in the meantime, I mean, given that infrastructure is one of our key focuses, if the administration had the time and the resources, you know, more shoulders against the wheel, leaning against the wheel would be maybe an advantage.
Thank you, Councillor Grundy.
If they have the resources.
Further discussion? A recommendation? Councillor Crossley.
I'm happy. I think we
If you would
should.
stand.
I think
Thank
we
you.
should. Sorry, I think we should make a submission if the CEO thinks it's a good idea. I think again, the more voices that are heard, the better, especially when it does directly affect us. So I'd be happy to move the first motion. It's written there that we make a submission on behalf of
That the
council.
Mayor and CEO be authorised.
Yes.
Okay. Did I actually move that someone, oh, I've got that, did we, oh no, thank you.
Haven't yet.
I haven't done that yet, no, that's okay. We'll deal with it. Councillor Goodman.
I'd like to second that and agree with the sentiments of Councillor Grundy and Councillor Crosling.
Very good. And what nature would you expect the submission, how expansive or otherwise would you expect the submission?
Again, noting the time of year and the capacity of staff, take on board that it might, be guided by that. But I think that there's a lot in that, and all of it affects council in terms of where the funding comes from and all the different streams, along with what we have the capacity to bring in, along with what our responsibilities are in regard to that. So I think anything that we can do to provide that picture of that impact to the people making those decisions would be well worthwhile. And as we have already experienced in this chamber a number of times this year, there are growing expectations about what council may or may not be able to fund. And so I think that things that reflect that nature would be very helpful.
Thank you, Councillor Goodman. Any further discussion? I put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. I'd like someone to move that the CEO's report for December is received and noted. Councillor Dennis, Councillor Turner, All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. Key projects. Kelly?
Thank you, Mayor. I guess this is really for information and questions to any of the relevant team members here.
Thank you. There being none, and is Rob going to be at the function on Friday? Excellent.
He's on leave tonight, today.
There being none, item 11 is finance report. Mrs. Edmonds.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. Nothing further to add to the report. Happy to take any questions.
Going swimmingly. Thank you, Mrs. Edmonds. Item 12, minutes and recommendation from council committees. Item 12.1 is the Naracoorte Regional Livestock Exchange. That the minutes of the meeting of the board held on the 3rd of December be taken as read and noted.
I'll have you move that, Mayor Ross.
Councillor Grundy. Seconded, Councillor Ireland. Councillor Grundy.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. I've just got a few observations to share regarding the last NRLE meeting. A few highlights. Operating income is slightly higher than this time last year. Cattle numbers are slightly above trend. Sheep are a little lower than trend. The 2 blue ribbon first cross ewe sales took place in November with price records falling, with one of our councillors, Councillor Eiling, appearing amongst the top priced ewes being sold. The top 10 pens of each agent were streamed on Facebook, with that vision being viewed 2,324 times at the time of the agenda, which was quite a few, we thought, which was good. Provisions for a generator to provide power have been installed in the anticipation of a less reliable mains grid. And lastly, the livestock property assurance audit was carried out with the NRLE passing with no corrective issues and full compliance. So well done to the sale yards team.
Thank you, Councillor Grundy. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you. So I'd like to move that the Naracoorte Regional Livestock Exchange financial report of the 27th of November be referred to the Audit and Risk Committee. Councillor Downward. Second to Councillor Grundy. All those in favour? Carried. Third item is that the budgeted reseal work at the Livestock Exchange are delayed to allow for pavement design to be undertaken, and that such work and that such works are funded from the existing reseal budget for 25/6. So the discussion around that, do you wish to move that, Councillor Downward? Thank you, Councillor Downward. I'll take a seconder. Councillor Ireland. Thank you. Just needs to be a little work done where the trucks have been turning, just to reassess the urgency of what was proposed and what needs to really be done. But that will occur, so we'll get someone in to have a look at that. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. Item 13, reports for decision. The resolution register. Mrs. Collins, thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. Nothing further to add to that report, but I'm sure anyone will happily take any questions if you have them.
Thank you, Mrs. Collins. Any questions?
I'd like to move the motion as written.
Thank you, Councillor Dennis. A seconder, please. Councillor Goodman. All those in favour? Carried. 13.2, Sports Committee Representative. Kelly.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillor Crosling has indicated she wishes to step down from her representative role on this committee. I believe Council has always, or for a very long time, had 2 representatives on the committee. So this is an opportunity for Council to nominate somebody else to attend in Councillor Crosling's place. And Councillor Ireland is also on the committee.
Councillor Grundy.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. I've just had some open questions. What's the actual role of the council, or who's there as a representative? Are they there purely as an observer? Are they providing input on behalf of council? And further to that, what's the role of a community member? Are they there to provide their personal input, or are they there purely as observers, or what do the roles really entail?
I suppose the question around the council member would be, as an observer, a community member might be quite different. Depends whether they had a role or whether they're actually on the committee. If they're just not on the committee, they'll be observing the machinations of what was occurring. Do you need further clarification?
Well, I really didn't take that as a clarification, with all due respect, Mayor Ross.
Thank you. Councillor Crosling.
Well, I was going to nominate Councillor Maguire, as he has also previously been on this committee for a number of years with me in the previous term and beyond that, so he does have a lot of background knowledge as to the Sports Centre. To maybe try and answer Councillor Grundy's question, as a council representative, you are there obviously with your council hat on, mainly over the past 7 years I've sat on that committee. The first 4 were a lot around when we were doing the master plan of the Sports Centre. Obviously the Sports Centre has a lease with council for that parcel of land, so in those meetings there are some questions that are council related and we are there to try and answer them. If we do not know the answer, we obviously come back and get clarification from council, but you are just that touch point and that middle man between the Sports Centre committee, which is made up of the 15 clubs that are up there, and council, and we're there to be part of the meetings and just see what's happening, and like I said, be that conduit between the committee and the council. Hopefully that helps.
Councillor Maguire.
I'd be, I didn't see that coming. Yeah, I'm more than happy to accept that position. Mayor, that's, if you'd like me on there with you, Councillor Ireland.
No problem.
If I may.
Councillor Ireland.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. Actually, could I have some clarification, please? Councillor Maguire and I are actually on another committee that were elected in 2022 on our election. Another sports committee up there. There's actually 2 committees. And I just wondered whether you had any clarification of what that other committee was, Councillor Maguire.
Well, when we joined,
Please.
I was about to.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually just waiting for Councillor Ireland to be seen. Well, I actually don't recall because I thought you guys sort of fairly well structured the committees, and I took a back seat on nearly everything. So I don't actually recall being nominated for a thing. It was all, to me, seemed pre-organised before the meeting, so I don't recall being on anything, to be honest.
Anyway, I'm happy to bring it back to the resolution. Councillor Maguire has been nominated and he's accepted the nomination. Have I asked for a seconder? Councillor Dennis, thank you. If there's no further discussion, I put the motion. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. Item 13.3, Naracoorte Branch Cancer Council permit to use a public space.
Thank you, Mayor Ross. So as per the report, which I think has a fair bit of detail, the Cancer Council is looking to host an event at the swimming lake on the 1st of March to raise funds. Much like the event that's held in Adelaide, the Marilyn Jetty Swim. It's a dress-up event with Marilyn Monroe lookalikes, swimming laps of the swimming lake. They are looking for a half day of exclusive access to the swimming lake. At this stage, we can't guarantee that to them, but we're happy to work with them to try and look at a way. March the 1st is about just over a month out from the closure of the swimming lake. I think that's due to occur at the end of the Easter break in early April. So happy to take any questions, happy to ask any questions back to the applicants.
And yeah, looking for a recommendation that they can be issued the permit, or happy to follow up with them if you've got any further queries.
Councillor Crossley.
I'm happy to move this recommendation. I've actually been chatting with Chris Gale, who is a part of the Naracoorte branch of the Cancer Council here, trying to help them through the process of this event. They've actually changed the date. It was going to be on the 1st of February, but they've pushed it back a little bit. And this, I think, is a great Google it, the Maryland Swim at Brighton Jetty. Next year it's actually having to be moved to an indoor pool due to the algal bloom, which is a bit of a bugger. But there's normally about 700 people up there that dress up like Marilyn Monroe, swim around the Brighton Jetty. It is it says fundraiser for the Cancer Council, and I'm happy to support the recommendation.
Thank you, Councillor Crossley. Councillor Downwood.
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, I'd just like to say that having lived very close to where that event took place in Adelaide, the 4 or 5 years that I was living there, how huge an event it is, and the thousands of people that flock to it. Very social day, live bands and whatever. So it's an enormous event, and I think it'd be a great addition to our community. So I'd second that as well.
Councillor Downwood, second. Councillor Goodman.
A question, if I may, to Ms Edmonds. I think in your report just then you said that we can't guarantee them access, but is it my understanding that if we move this, then we can guarantee them exclusive access?
Thank you, Councillor Goodman. Yes, we'll try our best. Given it's a public area, we can't 100% guarantee. We would like to think there'd be heaps of spectators there and the likes, and they would respect the fact that that was going to be conducted that way. So I don't believe we're looking at employing security to keep people out or anything like that. And, you know, if they do want that, they will have to organise that themselves. So, yeah.
Okay. Any further questions? All those in favour of the motion? Carried. Thank you. Item 13.4, Naracoorte-Lucendale Council Disability Access and Inclusion Plan 2025-29. Been out for public consultation. Councillor Goodman.
Another question, if I may. In reading the feedback, you know, I agree that people are broadly supportive of the inclusion plan, but there is some feedback around how we can make our playgrounds and some of our other open space more accessible for people with disability. How would that, if you know, moving ahead and if we endorse this plan tonight, how does that feedback get taken on board and included in future projects?
Thank you, Councillor Goodman. Question on notice. Mr. McCroskey.
That's that one. Thank you, Mayor Ross. Our suggestion as part of the feedback in our report states it'd be captured as future budget consideration, so we'll capture them as future budget allocations further into every financial year, and then there'll be a decision for the elected member body at that time to determine whether they want to budget for those projects moving forward for that financial year we're determining. So they'll be captured as well.
Thank you, Mr. McCroskey. Councillor Goodman.
Yeah, just for my understanding, as they're captured as part of the budget, is that as their own line for disability and inclusion, or is that as part of an upgrade to a playground, there's additional budget for disability inclusion aspects?
Thank you, Councillor Goodman. It'll be subject to the project. If it's a significant project, then we would actually budget that in part of our long-term financial plan documentation. However, if it's a relatively minor project, we just entrench that in the budget consideration for that year. So we will capture them, and depending on where it is in the locality, would bring it forward to that council at the time for consideration. Does that answer your question?
One more, if I may. And so just for formalising that, then, you know, as we go through our asset management plans that encompass those kind of considerations, it will be popped into the asset management plan that will then flow through, and so it will be there for longevity. Thank you.
Councillor Goodman, yes, that's my understanding, so we'll capture that as an identified project.
Thank you.
Thank you. And we've done a great job with and we've done a great job at the swimming lake this year. Councillor Crossley.
I just wanted to thank everyone who took the time to provide feedback on our disability access and inclusion plan. I think the responses show that we have strong community support, but it also highlights some of the gaps that we need to keep working on. particularly around the cognitive and sensory disabilities, inclusive play spaces and accessible recreation options. Suggestions such as the sensory accessibility, plain language communication and more inclusive playgrounds and better access to aquatic facilities reinforce that inclusion must go beyond physical mobility alone. I just wanted to say also playgrounds were my big takeaway from this, as one of the respondents was obviously a parent of a child with disabilities. So I just wanted to obviously make sure that that is obviously in the plan, and that's pretty much been answered. And the final response was about the ramp in the swimming lake, which obviously we are doing this financial year. So I think we are ticking a lot of the boxes, but I just want to say, okay, there was only 5 responses, but those responses were really great, and we value their feedback for that plan.
Thank you, Councillor Crosling, and yes.
I'd like to move the motion, if that's okay, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Councillor Goodman. Councillor Crosling, second. And living with a disability is something that we're not privy to, and I think it's really important that we, as elected members, seek widely information from those people who do have disabilities, and you can even ask them, even though people tend to walk around people with disabilities, we should actually actively ask them, you know, what would make their day better, especially if you're, you know, in a scooter or in a wheelchair. Life is way different down at 1 metre above the ground. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much. Item 14, reports for information, operations. Mr. Steed. I'd just like to mention and have noted that I've received 3 telephone and text messages, from 2 from Naracoorte and 1 from Lucindale, thanking the gardens and maintenance staff for their work. Both towns have been show up incredibly well, and it was also noted by one of my regular correspondents, who will remain nameless, that she couldn't find any rubbish. And so, you know, that's a good thing. So, you know, it is really important. And even this afternoon when I walked across the squares, you know, and people are eating and you look around and it's clean and tidy, it actually makes you feel good. And people who participate in our areas, our parks and gardens, it makes them feel good too. So thank you to those people. And my second, or maybe my third bouquet, is actually, we have a brand new, is it called a batching truck or something, that does the spreading of bitumen and stuff?
You've got the wrong managers here at
the
table tonight.
I know. But anyway, whatever. It's a new purchase. We've been waiting for it for some time. And it's been utilised not only on the Lock Harbour Lane, but also on the Wollumble Road, where there was quite an issue and it was suggested it needed potholing. And the outside staff were up there potholing. But in recent times, very recently, they've been up there with their new truck, and they've actually laid large patched areas with this new truck, and it's spectacular. And there was a large pothole on the Lock Harbour Lane, which has been addressed in the last couple of days with the same machine, and it's working a treat. So I think we can look forward to a pothole-free zone when it comes to bitumen. So...
Friday night I got a compliment from a ratepayer about the fixing the potholes on Robe Road, a little bit of bitumen on the bridge. Well done.
Yep. Councillor Maguire.
Well, if I could just add to your comments on the parks and gardens, it has been a very challenging year with the weather we've had, and I've had compliments too, but I've also watched the team work around town. Obviously I'm working around in similar places with them. There's a lot of Roundup resistant grasses around, so it's been challenging to keep on top of, but the the crew is actually working through. I noticed they've got the tractor in front. They've got 2 guys with whippersnippers following. They've got a guy with a blower. It looks professional. They're really working through it, and I just think it's the best I've seen the outdoor staff structured and working on a very challenging year. So just supporting what you're saying. Thank you.
Bouquets all round. So thank you, Councillor Maguire. And I'll talk with Rob, and I'll talk with everybody actually out there on Friday and mention the good work they've done over the course of the year and others. 14.2, Planning and Compliance Report. Mr. McCroskey, anything to add?
Just quickly, Mayor Ross, today we received an email from the Narragansett Art Gallery Culture Trust thanking Council and Council staff for the new pergola at the Art Gallery, so just make mention of that one.
Thank you very much. Community engagement. Mrs. Collins, it's been busy.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Ross. Yes, busy, and continuing on being busy, but nothing really further to report. Things are just going along swimmingly at the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Any questions of Mrs. Collins? I asked, did anyone attend Kick Your Boots Off?
Yes.
Was it good, Mrs. Collins?
I didn't attend.
Ah.
I was away at the time, but I heard, yes, I was. Yeah, about 220 attended, so it was good. I heard good reports.
Apparently it was spectacular, yeah.
Spectacular,
Yeah.
excellent.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
What have we got? Item 15, publications, documents, information from other bodies. There being none. Item 16, questions with notice. I haven't received any. I haven't received any motions with notice. I haven't got any questions without notice, and I don't have any motions without notice. So at that juncture, we move to item 20, which are matters that the CEO recommends to be considered in confidence. And item 20.1 is the sale of land at Smith Street and Stewart Terrace. And I ask if someone would move us into confidence. Councillor Dennis and Councillor Grundy. All those in favour? Carried. Thank you very much.